I'm at the country retreat of one of the nation's most renowned authors, who described this as the loveliest place in the world. So, who lived here and which county am I in? We'll find out in just a moment. It's a show of firsts today as we help a love-struck couple who've never actually shared a home before find a property for them to cosy up in together.
I can see myself watching telly here in front of the fire, definitely.
They also want to partner up to try their hand at running a guest house, so we open the door to some top-notch lodgings.
Wow!
Goodness me.
This is five-star accommodation, isn't it?
And a surprise finale could see one of them carried over the threshold.
Oh my God!
Today I'm in South Devon at the Greenway Estate, home to crime writer Agatha Christie. Born in Torquay in 1890, the county was always close to Christie's heart, and her writing, as she based 15 of her novels in the county. Now, she bought Greenway back in 1938 and holidayed here every single summer until her death in 1976. And although many of her whodunit plots were inspired by this beautiful environment, she never actually wrote here, seeing this purely as a place for relaxation, something that can be said for the county as a whole. Sitting in the centre of the southwest sleeve of England, Devon faces out over the Atlantic to the north and the English Channel to the south. Its two coastlines are peppered with a number of fashionable Victorian resorts, such as Dartmouth down on the southern shores, while set into the North Devon cliffside, you'll find Linton and Lynmouth, connected by its funicular railway, which opened in 1890. Historic transport links are also evident in the nearby estuary town of Bideford, whose landmark bridge dates back to the 15th century. Moving forward to the present day, many of the 8 million visitors to the county come here for the dramatic surf, sailing opportunities, or to navigate its extensive cycling and walking routes. In fact, the 630-mile-long southwest coast path that wraps around both of Devon's coasts is the longest footpath in Britain. Whilst property values here in Devon have dipped by around 10% since their peak back in 2007, the average price for a detached house here is still just shy of £289,000. That's around £30,000 above the national figure. Now, the South Devon hotspots of Salcombe and here in Dartmouth still carry a premium, due in no small part to the stunning coastline and, of course, the plentiful period property that is always sought after. But no matter where you look, I think it's fair to say that Devon offers rich pickings when it comes to its property styles. Thatch is a particular hallmark of many traditional rural properties in the county. From two-bed cottages to the classic Devon longhouse, thatch was the main roofing material before the 1900s. This four-bed cottage in Torquay would set you back £535,000. Staying by the sea, many coastal resorts retain their fine Georgian and Victorian buildings, but they can command a hefty price tag. This blue six-bedroom townhouse in Dartmouth has harbour views, but you would have to dig deep to the tune of £1,350,000. Luckily, for a fraction of the price, there are many coastal villages and ports where the cost of an attractive two-bed period cottage can start at a much more affordable £200,000. Time to meet today's buyers to find out exactly what they're looking for. Transport policeman Jerry and his partner Louise, a social care manager, currently live separately in the busy Worcestershire towns of Pershore and Evesham. They met 2 years ago after a chance meeting in cyberspace.
We were both internet dating, and I did an electronic wink at Jerry. It took me a few weeks to respond, I must say. But we met at the end of February 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, we met and we had a coffee in the town centre here, and we never looked back.
However, there is another lady in Jerry's life.
Well, pint pot is my passion. It's a small boat I got on the river. Louise comes with me. You would love it too. She's your passion as well, isn't she?
Putting a picnic up and going down on the river is just an ace way to spend a day, isn't it?
As well as pleasure, business is a driving factor of this move. And with retirements on the cards in the near future, they want to bring a new career to their front door.
This move is around a business opportunity as well, so we want to be able to run a bed and breakfast. But we need to be part of a community, so obviously we need to make friends. I'd hate to be in glorious isolation.
They're attracted to the rural splendour of the West Country, which is also a popular draw for tourists.
We'd really like to move to Devon, mainly because it's a beautiful county and it's coastal and rivers and obviously beautiful moorland. So we thought that that'd be a really good opportunity for a bed and breakfast, although our idea of how we'll be on a seafront in a row of bed and breakfast with like an individual property, a lovely location, but it's got to bring in the business.
And for their first love nest, they have a clear list of priorities.
Kitchen, functional kitchen, a utility room, because obviously lots of washing and ironing.
Yes.
And at least 4 bedrooms, letting bedrooms, and obviously owners' accommodation. I'd quite like a large garden because I'd love to do teas, have a tea garden. And you'd quite like chickens if it was appropriately big enough.
I'd love to keep chickens. Yes. Fresh eggs.
Yeah, for the breakfast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've settled on how much they have to spend on this move.
Our project would be £500,000, which would be inclusive of everything. Any work needs doing would have to come out of that grand total.
The right location is key for prospective B&B guests, so Jerry and Louise would like us to base their property search near to good road links through southern Devon to attract tourists exploring the scenic West Country. Time for me to find out more about the very first home they want to buy together.
Well, first of all, welcome to Devon. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at it.
Glorious. Renews the soul.
Does it?
It does, yeah. I think it's fabulous.
Is that why we're here? We're here to renew our souls?
Well, I think we're on the cusp of some great changes in our lives, and this is part of it.
OK, the dream is to run a B&B in Devon, but that's going in at the deep end here. Can we also look at houses with maybe the ability to earn you money?
Yeah, we need an income.
Yes.
So B&B would be the top favourite, but we're ready. We're open to other opportunities.
Are you?
We are.
Sounded like you were
Yeah.
telling him that then.
No, I was looking for affirmation. I was looking for the nod.
Let me give you the nod. The nod's there.
Well, look, this is your escape to the country,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Absolutely.
So we also need to focus on a nice place for you to live.
Exactly.
I think this is going to be very interesting because I think we'll find differences of opinion. We'll also find out, who maybe has the casting vote.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt there.
Over here, I think. This is going to be fun because it's going to be... Look, this is going to be a learning process for you guys as well.
Yeah.
You're going to be finding out a bit more about each other that you didn't already know.
That's so true.
Isn't it?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right, the roller coaster starts this way. Come on.
As they move into the next important chapter of their lives together, Jerry and Louise have a top budget of £500,000. They want their first home to be an individual property with character that has the potential for a 1-bedroom private living area for them and at least another 3 ensuite bedrooms for the B&B business. Spacious kitchen and dining areas are vital to cater for guests. Then finally, the location needs to be well connected to transport links and, of course, close to the water for Jerry to moor his beloved boat. We've selected 3 superb properties which meet their criteria in different ways. And as usual, I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. The final option is, of course, our mystery house, which will really test their commitment to a new vocation. We're getting our property search underway 4 miles south of Exeter in the village of Kenford. Set in what local residents call the Happy Valley of Ken, it's served by all the essential amenities such as a pub, a shop and a post office. Importantly for our couple, it's a popular stopping place for tourists, both exploring the county and travelling onward through to Cornwall. Our first house lies on the edge of the village and is a modern build that I hope has the unique spec Jerry and Louise were hoping for.
For the first property, I give you this.
Wow.
Modern.
Modern, built, well, it was finished, about a year ago, just less than a year ago. You said you wanted character. I think there's enough character inside for you.
It's got character on the outside. The slate front gives it the character, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Strangely enough, you appear to be in the middle of nowhere, but I can hear the main road, so we know we've got good connections.
Let's get inside. I think you're going to be very impressed. I hope you are, anyway. Follow me.
Now, this property doesn't run as a business, but it has an unusual upside-down layout where the entire ground floor is given over to bedroom suites, and I think this arrangement has great B&B potential.
So let's start with a bedroom. Big.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Big.
Yeah.
Really big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Because I'm thinking, as lovely as this room is, sorry, it's probably for the guests.
I think so.
I would be hugely impressed with getting a room of this size, this sort of space. Now, as far as en-suites go, I think this is one of the biggest I've ever seen. Take a look at this.
Look, another big room. Wow!
Goodness me.
It's fabulous.
This is 5-star accommodation, isn't it?
Yes. It's all done to a very high specification, isn't it?
Our buyers, or their guests, would be sport for choice down here, as there's yet another magnificent bedroom with ensuite. But there are 4 bedrooms in total. The other 2 are up on the first floor and include a double room with a Juliet balcony and ensuite, as well as one that could be offered as a twin room, also with its own ensuite shower. That's 4 Bs for beds, and the next B is for breakfast.
Fairly decent size.
Wow. Look at that.
Wow, it's beautiful.
So would you have this as the dining area for your B&B?
Yeah. You know, you've got breakfast for 6 people. I think the kitchen is probably big enough for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a bit. This is shocking, really. I'm just really shocked at...
Am I?
I
am
like
as well.
it.
I am. Pleasantly shocked.
Yes, yeah.
Mapping out a property to accommodate paying guests and a home life takes a lot of thinking through. But upstairs on the top floor, there's one last room that has personal space written all over it.
This was something that I really wasn't expecting.
That makes a difference. This makes it more attractive now. Because this is a big, reusable room, isn't it?
Very much so.
One thing all my ex-clients used to say to me is they gave the best accommodation away to their guests, and they always craved sanctuary.
Yes.
This is here. Let's keep going back to this. You're not looking for an out-and-out business. This is your escape to the country.
Yeah.
You're looking for the first house, first home to enjoy together.
Yeah.
Smiley, smiley.
So, whistle stop around the house. Let's take a quick peek at the garden, but also, this is your first opportunity to start thinking about price. All right? Indeed.
The garden area is tiered over 3 levels, with 2 decked terraces as well as lawned areas, all with far-reaching views over the Ken Valley.
How much do you think this house is on the market for, then?
I think it's built to an incredibly high spec. And I probably think it's over our budget. I'd go 525.
It's a charming building. I'm going to go 510.
Spot on, £525,000, yeah. I'm on your side here, with the stamp duty threshold at £500,000.
Yeah.
I think there's a deal to be done here on budget.
Do you?
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's
Fantastic.
strong contender.
So have a good look around, have a look at the bedrooms and see which one you'd want for your own, OK? Because this is a balancing act between your dream accommodation for yourselves and something for your guests that can earn you some money.
Yeah.
And I'll meet you out the front whenever you're ready.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you
Yeah.
See you in a
very
minute.
much.
Yeah.
I don't think they're expecting to see a property like this, but even though it's just a house at the moment, this would convert so easily into a B&B, and in a very stylish way too.
A positive start to our property hunt. Priced at £525,000, this immaculate modern property is ready to go as a home and has great B&B potential. Spread out over 3 levels, it comes with 4 pristine ensuite bedrooms, an enormous open-plan kitchen dining area, and a top floor which they could use as their private living space.
My first thoughts were that I was surprised it was a new build. It was obviously clearly brand new out the box. But I was impressed inside, and I loved it. It's a bit quirky, the glass at the back of the house. Very, very nice.
When you open the front door, it's breathtaking. All the solid floors and the staircases are just phenomenal. And it just begins to change what you imagine and the thoughts around changing a house into a business. If this is your first house, really excited to see what else you've got in store, because this has got off to a really good start.
So, discovered all the bedrooms.
Yes.
Do you think you could cope with en-suites of that size?
Oh, very easily.
Yeah?
Yes,
Good.
I think so.
OK, all done here. Off for the next one.
Thank you.
A thorough understanding of the local area is vital when setting up a business to attract holidaymakers. So, during the week, we arranged for Jerry and Louise to take a tour of Dartmouth, sat on the banks of the River Dart estuary. Trade has coursed through its natural deep water harbour since Norman times, and with its series of terraced streets navigating the hillside steep incline, the town still holds on to its strong historic identity. Keen to take to the waters when they move, our buyers met local resident Sir Geoffrey Newman, whose centuries-old seafaring family operated out of Dartmouth Harbour.
Just at the moment, we're standing on the Kingswear side, looking across at the wonderful view of Dartmouth.
Wow.
And not only Dartmouth, at the top, can you see you've got the Naval College, which overlooks the Dart. This is the place that the naval cadets get commissioned into the Navy. It was built in about between 1899 and 1905. And then, of course, below it, you have the majesty and the glory of Dartmouth itself. And coming across to us, the River Dart, with all the boats on it.
What sort of products were they bringing in and out?
Well, very, very early on, there would have been wool and grain exports, right in so medieval times, almost. Nowadays, it is the fish industry. So we're standing on the crab fishing quay here, where they bring in the crab, which is offloaded here and then distributed right across the country and, of course, overseas as well.
Much of the fabric of the town dates back to the 17th and 18th century, such as parts of its cobbled quayside.
So here we are in Bayard's Cove. And then we got the fort at the very end, which is the inner fort built in 1537 during Henry VIII's time. This was the inner defence in case the outer defence at the mouth of the Dart failed.
However, a great way to survey the site is from the water. Geoffrey's taking them on a tour of the harbour in a small fishing vessel.
We get a fine view of the estuary and, of course, the Dart itself. That's the Bayard's Cove where we were just a few minutes ago. Looking across there, you'll see the fort, the inner fort. So imagine yourself on a vessel trying to get in here with those gun ports there with guns smoking. It wouldn't have been very nice, would it?
No chance.
No.
Not surprisingly, Dartmouth's rich maritime history and scenic coastal beauty are a huge draw for tourists. So we're going to continue our house search close by in the hope of taking advantage of the ready-made clientele. And not forgetting Jerry's small boat, Dartmouth could be an ideal location for recreation as well as enterprise. For just a stone's throw away from the waterfront is our second property, which is again quite a modern affair.
First impressions, fabulous bedroom window, but I bet it's not a bedroom, is it?
You're absolutely spot on. It's not a bedroom, but you've got that to look forward to. Let's talk about the outside of this house. What are you thinking?
I like it. It's in a commanding position. And it's got all the character. It's got the slate over the door.
No, it doesn't do much for me. Yeah.
Difference of opinion.
Yeah.
But we're looking at this house with a view to making it a house stroke B&B. Follow me this way.
In an elevated position built into the hillside, this property is again set out over 3 stories. Down on the ground floor lies a garage and the first of 5 double bedrooms that this house offers. And it's right next to a separate shower room. The middle floor is given over to 3 double bedrooms, one of which is the next stop on our tour.
Right then, Let's start with what I think will be one of the letting bedrooms.
Not a bad size.
I mean, yeah.
Let's look at the bathroom.
Do you want to have a look at it?
Yeah.
Have a quick peek. It's an ensuite. It's not as big as the first house's ensuite.
But it's all there.
It's all there.
Further down the hallway is another double room and a family bathroom. But I think the way this house would work best as a B&B is to sacrifice the last bedroom on this floor.
And this is where it gets interesting for you guys. So that small kitchenette and utility.
Yeah.
Well, this is obviously a bedroom laid out at the moment, but I think 3 tables for 2. This is ideal for a breakfast room.
Yeah, it's workable, that. It's light. It's got good views.
It's a good room.
And it's a
got-
dedicated room.
Very quickly, Louise seems to be jumping on board as she starts to see the business potential of this property. What I'm keen to show our buyers, though, is up on the 3rd floor and could be their very own private hideaway.
Right then, at the top of the house, I'm thinking these are exclusively for you.
It's lovely.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice big kitchen.
Massive kitchen.
Be a waste to have that as a bedroom, wouldn't it? Remember from the outside you said you liked the look of it?
Yeah.
I'm desperate to look out that window.
Go on then.
We'll go and have a look. Oh.
There you go. That's the money shot.
Confining the business side to the lower 2 floors means that Jerry and Louise would have their very own private apartment up here, which not only benefits from a huge open-plan kitchen and dining area with breathtaking views, but also has a separate sitting room with wood-burning stove, and is topped off by a master bedroom with a useful ensuite.
This floor is perfect onners accommodation, definitely.
Isn't it just?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
smiling. You're happy. That was an affirmative Louise chuckle.
Affirmative Louise chuckle.
I know this now.
Right, ALC, I'll remember that.
What a turnaround from Louise. After her initial misgivings, she's now clearly quite excited about this house. Time to take them both outside into the sloping landscape garden and hazard a guess as to what this whole package might be worth.
Now this is the total of your garden. Okay, now, what I thought would be great for you is this is your vehicular access as well. So you can pull
fab.
a car up.
Clever.
It feels so much better.
Yeah? Does it really?
It does.
So,
Yeah.
it's that time.
Oh, no.
How much do we think this house is on the market for?
Well, it's very difficult because it's an individual building.
Yes.
It's a one-off. So I'm just going to stick to the budget price of 500,000.
Right, OK.
I'm going to go 515.
This place is on the market, unfortunately for you guys, at the moment, at £550,000. The D factor, Dartmouth, it puts a premium on top of things, and you know,
you did
anything with a
warn
water
us.
view, yeah. But it's an asking price. Sensible offer gets a sensible answer. That's what I always say. Why don't you go back inside, all right?
Yeah, we're going to have a look.
Lead on.
See you in a bit. Well, I think this house, for these guys, is just that. They've become overwhelmed by having the whole penthouse, if you like, to themselves. And it's in Dartmouth. They don't know Devon, but they know they'd love to be here. It certainly feels like a contender, doesn't it?
Priced over budget at £550,000, this substantial 3-storey property is proof that a prime coastal location doesn't come cheap, but a respectable offer could put it within reach. However, it does have great business potential in the form of 3 letting bedrooms. What's more, the top floor gives them an open-plan kitchen diner, separate sitting room and an ensuite master bedroom.
This house didn't particularly do it for me at all. But once inside and sitting in the turret, fab views, I can just see me and Jerry here.
Property 2, the first time I saw it, my impression was that I liked it. Saw Louise's reaction, though, so that was a worry for me. And I've watched her attitude change, and she's been warming and smiling, and I know she likes it. Property 1 was a winner, Property 2 is a winner, it's getting more difficult. Let's see what happens with Property 3.
Well, I mean this in a good way. Hopefully, I've given you sleepless night tonight, thinking about 2 properties, maybe?
Yeah, properties that we wouldn't have particularly chosen ourselves. They're not bed and breakfast, they're properties that we'd have to convert.
Yes. So, something to think about, hopefully, and then the big day tomorrow, something completely different.
Yeah.
Well, let's go and see. Let's see.
Yeah.
Right then, let's take back to the hotel, shall we?
Yeah.
Thank you.
As the setting sun reflects on Devon's waterside, so too can our buyers reflect on the 2 houses they've seen so far. With a budget of £500,000, Jerry and Louise want to leave Worcestershire town life behind and join forces in the Devon countryside, where they would like to run a bed and breakfast. So far, they've seen 2 impressive properties, which could be configured to accommodate both a home for them and a business. But still to come, our mystery house is an eye-watering proposition.
Easy, you're welling up a bit, you're right.
I know, no, I can't believe that. I can't.
Then I'll be savouring one of Devon's homemade delights. All topped off with a romantic ending where there won't be a dry eye in the house.
Happy days. Here's to a new start.
So this morning, we're in the fairly fortunate position where Jerry and Louise love both of the properties I showed them yesterday. But maybe that's making life difficult for them. They might find it really tricky to decide which one they like best. Now we're off to see the mystery property today, and, well, it's going to need to be pretty special to be anything I showed them yesterday. But you know what? I think it is, and it might just help them decide. I think we've got 2 contenders at the moment. Is that right or wrong?
That's right.
Yeah.
I've never had 3, and that's what I'm hoping for.
OK, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put money, I'm going to put lunch on the fact that I think we've got 3 out of 3.
Wow.
Because we've got 2 contenders, continue to keep an open mind, but what makes this a mystery property isn't what you're expecting.
To reach our final property, we're heading around 20 miles south of Exeter to the coastal town of Torquay. This pretty seaside resort is one of 3 towns that make up the English Riviera and has been a popular holiday destination since Victorian times. And perched high on the hilltop overlooking the bay is the Victorian villa that we've chosen as our mystery property, which challenges them to commit to their chosen vocation.
So while you're thinking what the mystery house might be, comes to a rest. Here we are.
I love this.
Wow.
And it looks as if it's already a B&B.
This is an up-and-running B&B. Built circa 1840. It's Grade 2 listed, as you'd expect. What's your thoughts?
I think this looks really individual. It's not in a row of all the same. Love to see the views, but it's in a good spot.
Inside, well, you're in for a feast of features. Follow me.
The sun is certainly shining on our mystery property at this early stage. And inside this Victorian guest house presents a picture of period opulence.
Now then, a proper reception, a bit of a bar area, I think it used to be. This is a business you can buy. OK, this isn't what you asked for, but you have not run something before. Someone else has set this up for you.
Yeah.
So, keep an open mind. Let's take a look around.
Yeah.
Seeing as this is already an established business, we're going to focus our attention on the ground floor rooms earmarked for guests.
Now, the dining room or breakfast room.
Majestic.
Majestic.
It is, yeah.
Majestic, right, OK. This is where you see the real Victorian features, and I think these buildings really work as B&Bs because it's a departure from the norm for the guests.
You're so right. It's different to the norm. So what a nice place to spend a weekend, isn't it?
Yeah. So if they're dining here, the best place to cook will be next door. And thankfully it's set up just that way. The real engine room of a home, especially a business, though. This is where the magic happens.
Yeah. It's got everything you need, and it's right by the dining room.
It's perfect. It's perfectly set up. Yeah. It's private. You can cook away from the glaring eyes of your guests.
No, this is great.
This has got Louise written all over it, hasn't it?
Has it? Now, the owner has also looked into making this a destination tea shop.
Fab idea.
Yeah? Well, you've got plenty of room for that, haven't you?
Victorian murder mystery weekends.
Now you're talking. Theme nights, they really do work. You can have a bit of fun with that, can't you?
Yeah.
I really admire how Louise's business vision is being fired up by our mystery house. We'll save the other ground floor rooms until later and go upstairs to explore the guest accommodation. There are 4 ensuite bedrooms, all of which are luxuriously decorated double suites with their very own shower rooms. And the rates the current owners charge here start at around £70 per night, based on 2 people sharing a double room.
This is my favourite, although it's not the biggest.
It's a lovely size.
Isn't it in character?
Yeah.
Would you change anything?
No.
No, I'm glad you said that. Let's find where you would have your own personal exclusive place, yeah? Something for you guys.
Thank you.
With the guests more than catered for, it's time to consider where Jerry and Louise would relax after the working day is done. Back down on the ground floor, there are 2 final rooms that serve that purpose. They include a double bedroom, currently used as a treatment room with its own ensuite bathroom, alongside a beautiful homely living room.
I can see myself watching telly here in front of the fire, definitely.
Very cosy.
Yeah?
Very cosy. Nice place to relax.
It's just ready to run. Wouldn't have to do anything
It's totally
with
your
it.
genre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
You wanted a garden?
Yeah.
This room spills perfectly out onto a raised patio. Let's take a look.
A gin and tonic.
So this is all recently done, but you've got a garden all on one level. So, Jerry, what's going through your mind? You seem to be very happy, Louise. But, Jerry, it's your house too.
There's lots of tradition in there, with modern features, clean, tidy, hygienic.
It's up to date, isn't it?
Up to date.
Now, this is a little unkind because you've only seen a fraction of the accommodation on offer. But you need to try and value it.
Gosh, £530,000.
Jerry?
It's tough, but I know this is a special house. So we've pushed the envelope as far as you dare push it. So I would think 575,000.
Yeah. Well, this place on the market for £495,000.
Oh, well done.
No. I might say that price again. I like that.
Tremendous.
How much again?
£495,000.
Wow.
The advantage of this place, as I keep pointing out to you, really is it's up and running. You know, this is you welling up a bit. You're right.
I know, no, I can't believe that. I can't.
Well,
Yeah.
this is good. This is good news. All right. Have a look around the place. Take as much time as you want. All right.
Yeah.
Should we go for
Go and dry your eyes. Well, pretty good reaction, I think. Look, let's be honest here. They want to escape to the country, they want a new lifestyle together, but they also want a business. And I think this place, it could be for them because it's already here, it's already established, and they can learn a lot from the current owners. Could be 3 out of 3 this week, do you think?
On the market for a tear-jerking £495,000, the mystery property is a stylish Grade 2 listed Victorian villa, which challenges them to take on a fully established B&B. It's made up of 5 beautifully decorated bedrooms, each with ensuite. There's also a large kitchen and 2 reception rooms to serve the guests, along with a comfortable private living area for them.
It took my breath away because it was everything I wanted, really. A character property, big windows, a garden, and it was just so individual. It was just, oh, yes.
I think the house to live in and to run a business will be very doable. Beautiful, escape from where we are, fresh start. That's what it's all been about.
You were long enough. There's so much to say, isn't there?
There is.
Now then, do I make that 3 contenders?
No.
No?
Well,
Oh, well, listen, let's go over here, cool off a little bit and have a chat, OK?
Sounds
Yeah?
sensible to me.
Come on.
Across the swathes of lush green pastureland that define Devon's countryside is the familiar sight of the black and white dairy herds. Yet just 60 years ago, these hillsides would have been predominantly grazed by a different breed altogether, the South Devon cow, known locally as the orange elephant. Before the Second World War, the South Devon was a dual-purpose breed, used both for milking and beef. But the post-war demand for high milk yields led to the demise of the South Devon as a dairy cow and the rise of foreign breeds such as the Holstein and the Friesian that we see today. Although still popular for its beef, by the turn of this century, there were no milking herds of the orange elephant left here in Devon. But in 2005, Rob and Helen Taverner began a project to reintroduce this native breed. Now this is the only milking herd of South Devons in the world. I've come to their farm to find out more.
One of the native breeds of Devon is the South Devon. Used to be very famous for milking. There's one of them.
So this is a South Devon cow?
That's a South Devon cow. They're nicknamed the orange elephants because they're bigger than the average cow and they've got sort of a long face.
You've bred these cattle then?
Yes, that's right, but there isn't any other farm in the world sort of still milking South Devon cows. So we could use all that genetics and that great milking ability and creaminess and taste in this sort of the modern age, which was really exciting.
With the breeding programme going from strength to strength, the herd of South Devons is now 80 strong, with 30 dairy cows producing around 150,000 litres every year.
The normal dairy cow is quite an intensive way of milking, isn't it?
That's right. They'll produce a huge amount in a short space of time. So they'll probably be on the farm for about 5 years and produce, say, 50,000 litres in their life. These probably will be on the farm for 10 years. They last longer, they're healthier, they're fitter, they're hopefully happy cows as well.
Right.
And they'll still do 50,000 litres in their lifetime, but over a longer period.
These beautiful beasts are powerfully built, supplying a rich, creamy milk, which has inspired Rob to develop an even sweeter branch to the business.
So, Rob, what do you do with all this milk then? Where's it all go?
Well, some of it goes to local dairies, and then some we make into ice cream on the farm here.
Ice cream?
Ice cream.
In order to turn this milk into ice cream, Rob mixes it with eggs, sugar, cream, and in this instance, chocolate. The mixture is then left to pasteurise overnight before it's finally passed through the freezing machine.
This sounds like heaven in a bucket.
And it's lovely and yellow. You can see that. There you go. There's last bits of chocolate going in there as well, which will be blended in when
let's not waste any of that. Come on, let's get the chocolate in there.
Yeah.
After 10 minutes or so, the ice cream is ready, and for extra indulgence, we're going to throw in some homemade brownies.
Here you go, have a taste. What do you think?
Daisy. She tastes beautiful, doesn't she?
She does.
Isn't it great to see these wonderful cows once again producing milk in this fantastic Devonshire landscape? Time to catch up with today's buyers to see if we've found the right business opportunity for them. So let's talk about the properties themselves. First property was a house, but you could see the potential straight away, couldn't you?
yeah. 2 massive bedrooms with fabulous bath, James Bond bath in one.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The separate upstairs area had all the potential, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And the lovely aspect to the rear with all the glass and then the features at the front. Dynamic.
Yeah.
Very good property.
We left there and I was thinking, well, you know, they're seeing the potential here. I thought we had a contender there. So in the afternoon, we went along to a house in Dartmouth, an area that you'd already said you'd liked. Yeah. What were your first impressions then, Jerry?
I thought the frontage of the house was impressive, and that an amazing turret feature at the top, which we found out inside exactly what secrets it held.
You were essentially getting a penthouse apartment with that property. You liked the sound of that, didn't you?
Yeah, and it was just like a penthouse.
Yeah, I could see us being really comfortable in that apartment upstairs.
Yeah.
With the open plan kitchen.
So, end of day one, 2 properties, both with potential, which I think you'd come around to, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why I was really, really keen on showing you the mystery property today. An up-and-running B&B. What were your thoughts when you first came round the corner and saw it, Jerry?
When I first saw it, I was well impressed. A 18th century period property, all the different angles of the roofs and the chimney and the windows, it was all happening. Really established front planted area, trees, very impressive. I thought, way out of our budget, what are we doing here?
But then inside, you saw that all those beautiful Victorian features that your guests would enjoy as well, and I think that's when the penny started to drop.
Definitely. And it was an much older property, period property, but had been finished to a really high standard and was somewhere that we would have stayed.
Do I need to ask what your favourite is?
Well, you can, but I'm sure you know.
Go on.
The mystery property, definitely.
The first two were stunning, but the mystery property has got it for me.
So, what's the next step? What do you want to do about it?
We need to find some financial guidance, don't we?
Yeah.
We desperately want to generate the money that's required to bag that property.
But we will pursue that.
Yeah?
On the cusp of a new life together, probably.
What do you mean, probably?
Well, while we're on the subject, and these good folk from Escape to the Country have done all this research and all this hard work for us to find a new beginning and the perfect property, I've been doing some work myself. And I've been researching the perfect woman that I would like to spend the rest of my life with. So, young Louise, I want to ask you if you would be, or do me the honour of, being my wife.
Oh, my God.
Is that a yes, or maybe?
I'd be delighted to be your wife.
Oh, risk it then.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Happy days. Here's to a new start.
Oh, listen, congratulations. Congratulations,
Thank you.
mate. That
Thank
is
you, John.
amazing,
Thank you.
amazing news. Listen, I'm going to not play Goosebeat any longer. This is brilliant news. Enjoy the moment. I'm off to get a bottle of fizz, all right? Catch you in a mo. Well, Jerry and Louise are nothing if not adventurous. They want to move to a county that they admit they've hardly ever been to before and buy their very first home here. But it also needs to be a business. But with that mystery property, I think we may have just found it for them. And as you can see, they've just committed to the rest of their lives together. So they're off to a flying start. Worthy of a celebration, I think. See you next time.
Jerry and Louise did go back to the mystery house and are now in negotiations with the owner. They have also set a date for their wedding, so are hopefully set to start a new life together in the country very soon. If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.